He stinks, and I don't like him.
What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. So, while I wanted to talk about something interesting involving the draft or free agency or something Falcons football related, unfortunately, we technically are talking Falcons football, but we're not, and we're talking about this shocking but yet depressing gambling Calvin Ridley situation going on. And he has been suspended for a whole year, and it was already evident he wasn't going to be on the Falcons even before the gambling thing happened. But now that the gambling thing happened, I don't think Calvin Ridley is going to be a Falcon anymore. Now, the Falcons actually apparently did get trade calls from numerous teams asking if they could get Calvin Ridley in a trade, but the Falcons kind of knew what was going on, and they not only didn't want to get in trouble for themselves, but they also didn't want to screw any other team over because they knew Calvin Ridley was going to get in trouble, which was very nice of the Falcons. But anyway, we're going to go over how I feel about the suspension and if I think he got suspended for the right amount of games, and how I feel about him in the NFL. Like, is he even going to get another chance in the NFL? How do I feel about him as a wide receiver? Is he even a wide receiver number one? Or is he just a really good wide receiver number two? And then how do I feel about him personally? Even though I don't know him personally, but you get the idea. Like, do I hate him all of a sudden? I think you get what I'm trying to say. So let's go into the suspension. And he has been suspended for a whole entire year. And I think he obviously did deserve to be suspended. But for a whole entire year for gambling, I don't know about that. Like, I think he maybe should have been suspended for maybe 6 to 8 games, basically half a year. I think sounds a little more ideal for gambling. And now all these people are saying, oh yeah, he used mental issues as an excuse to go gamble. And while I do deep down believe that to be true, I do kind of believe that the whole mental issues thing he had going on was all BS, and I think he had other plans. It still doesn't necessarily prove that he didn't have mental issues, though. He maybe did have mental issues and then went off to gamble. I don't know. But regardless, gambling should not have happened on his part, and he knows it. He went all on Twitter saying, oh yeah, I'm a good gambler, but, you know, I was in the wrong, and like all this drama stuff. But newsflash, Calvin, you're going to need a little more than just Twitter tweets to get everyone's approval, I guess. So at least he knows he's wrong, but at the moment it is just no good for him. He has been suspended for a year, and there's nothing we can do about it. He's just got to sit out another year in the NFL. So basically, he hasn't played in 2 years. I know he played for a little bit in 2021, but it kind of felt like he didn't play at all. So he basically hasn't played since 2020. But I do feel he got what he deserved, though. I don't think any player is just told not to gamble. Well, I think every player is told not to gamble, I meant to say. And Calvin Ridley just went out of his way to break the rules. And not good on his part. So a suspension was needed, but I maybe would have reduced it to like 6 to 8 games. But I don't know, that's just me. Is he going to get another chance in the NFL? Yeah, of course. But I will say it won't be with the teams that have been interested in him this year, because think about it, he's going to be sitting out for a whole entire year, and not even just that, and all these teams, maybe the ones that were looking at him, maybe all of a sudden they don't need a wide receiver entering 2023, like the Patriots and the Dolphins. I know they were looking at him this year. Maybe in 2023 they'll change their mind and they actually do have a good receiver set. I don't know. But at the same time, he also won't be playing for 2 years, basically. And now they're like, this guy hasn't played in 2 years. Like, you know, is he any good? And they're also going to second guess everything he says, or does because of this. They're going to be like, well, he had that gambling thing, or, do we trust him? Is he going to do some backstab to us? Which is really bad on Calvin Ridley's part. Teams are going to second guess him now. Like, they're not going to fully trust him anymore. Or at least it's going to take a while to get his full trust. So he's going to have to do a lot in order to get teams' trust now, especially since he can't play for 2 years, basically. Teams in 2023, they're not going to be the same teams that we're looking at him this year, most likely. Teams that I can think of that might need a wide receiver core in 2023, at the top of my head, I don't know. The Bears, Allen Robinson doesn't look like he's going to stay. Maybe he wants to play with his brother Ridley and then also play with Justin Fields. That would actually kind of be interesting to watch. Or maybe he wants to play with the Jaguars. I know they'll probably need some receiver help. I don't really know. Those are just teams at the top of my head. But anyway, that's far in the future. Point is, Calvin Ridley is going to get a chance somewhere, but he's going to have a lot to prove if he wants to get back on a team. This kind of reminds me of Deshaun Watson with the whole thing he's got going on. And now all these teams, they look at him and they kind of think about getting him, and then they back out because they're not sure what to make of him as a person. And there's just so many back and forth rumors about Deshaun Watson. Like, the Panthers are expected to get him. The Dolphins are expected to get him. The Commanders, all these freaking teams. And Deshaun Watson's going to have a lot to prove if he wants to be on another team. But he hasn't played for a whole year, and that hurts his reputation. That kind of reminds me of Calvin Ridley not playing for basically 2 years, and the whole gambling thing, that's going to hurt his reputation. That was a lot to explain, but I think I got my point across there. Now, is he a wide receiver number 1? I warned you guys. I really warned you. I remember in the 2020 offseason, I was preaching Calvin Ridley is not a wide receiver number 1. He's just a very good wide receiver number 2. And for a while, I looked dead wrong on that. For a while, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I was wrong. Calvin Ridley's a wide receiver number 1. But now you look at this and you're like, maybe he just had a really good year. And in 2020, Calvin Ridley would make for a very, very good wide receiver number 2 on any team. Literally any team. And he would help out any team that's kind of pulling off what the Rams or Bucks would do, and they're just signing all these players. He would help out tremendously and probably help them at least become a Super Bowl contender. He is a huge factor in on the field, but as far as a wide receiver 1 goes, he definitely doesn't have the personality for it yet. That's for sure. He's going to have to work on that. But as far as how he is as a player, he's got the traits for it. He's got the route running, and his hands have gotten a little better, but at the same time, he's not the best in contested catches, or I don't know, that's just my opinion. Last year, there were so many balls where it's oh my gosh, Calvin Ridley might jump up and get it, but nah, he will not. He's no Julio Jones. I feel like he's I could go on and on, but I feel like he's got a little more to prove if he's going to be a wide receiver number 1. But I warned you, I don't think he's a wide receiver number 1. I kind of admitted I was wrong for a while, and now I kind of regret it. I just warned you, Calvin Ridley is a wide receiver number 2. He's not a wide receiver number 1. At least not yet. Not yet. So that's how I feel about him as a wide receiver. How do I feel about him personally? I don't know. I don't know him at all. I don't really hold any grudges against anyone, really. But with Calvin Ridley, thank you for what you've done. You actually did help the team, and you were actually entertaining to watch. And for what it was worth, I was excited when the Falcons picked him up. It just sucks that things went the way it did. And I was rooting for him to get this big paycheck in 2022 from the Falcons, but it looks like it won't happen. But, I hope things do get better for Calvin. I'm not trying to shred him in this whole video. I feel like that's what I've been doing. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just kind of saying what I feel the state of Calvin Ridley's future looks like in the NFL. I think he's just basically going to have a lot to prove if he wants to get back on another team. and to prove that he's a wide receiver number one, but he will not be a Falcon. And I think he did deserve to be suspended, but, best of luck to Calvin. And, thank you for what you've done, but good luck elsewhere. And those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys with a video this Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate you all for the support. And as always, rise up.